Could libertarians learn a thing or two by using empathy when trying to reach out to new voters? Yeah, let's talk about that.
Instead of focusing on winning arguments, we're teaching the basic fundamentals of sales and marketing and how we can use them to win in the world of politics, teaching you how to meet people where they're at on the issues they care about. Welcome to The Brian Nichols Show.
Well, happy Wednesday there, folks. Brian Nichols here on The Brian Nichols Show, and thank you for joining us on, of course, another fun-filled episode. I am, as always, your humble host, joining you live from our Stratus IP studios here in lovely Eastern Indiana. Don't let cyber attacks or outdated business technology put your company at risk. All right, folks, let's talk about this whole empathy thing, because, yeah, as libertarians, we often spend most of our time focusing on how individual liberty and personal responsibility can help solve all of America's problems. But it's also important for us to consider the perspectives and the personal experiences of those that we're trying to speak to. Because here's the reality that we're trying to deal with and face. Many Americans are struggling right now with the lack of economic opportunity, and they feel they've been left behind by the current system. And increasingly, in response to that, they're now looking to government as the only viable means to help them solve their problems. So instead of us chastising them for them thinking, oh, that's the only way we can do this, I argue we should instead try to put ourselves in their shoes and figure out why it is they feel this way. Now, no, before I see the comments coming in a flurry of anger, I'm not arguing that we should be abandoning our principles and becoming a rock-ribbed communists and socialists, but rather I'm saying we instead just need to start listening to people, empathizing with them, and then offer our solutions in a way that shows that, hey, we actually care and we want to see them have a better life. And there's a good news here, folks. This is so easy for us to do in practice in our day-to-day lives. So how do we do this? Well, first off, just by showing empathy and understanding, we're going to help show we are not only trying to better understand other people's perspectives, but that we're going to be putting ourselves in a position to down the road be in a better spot to help persuade them when we start bringing our libertarian ideas to the table. And we do so in going from where we start to where we'll finish by just simply listening. And I know you're like, what? Listening? That's all it takes? Well, hear me out. When you listening, it's not just about listening to someone talk. It's about listening to what they're saying, what it is, the meaning behind their words. In other words, we should be paying attention to not just what people say, but what it is that make people tick. What is it that drives them to believe what they believe? And now we can get a better idea as to what it is that's motivating people to look at things in a certain way, mostly by the way that they're being imprinted by the various forces around them, namely the different content they're consuming. So we can take interest in, let's say, the popular culture, read the books that folks are reading, watch the movies that they're reading, watch the television shows and listen to the music, play the video games, whatever it is, figure out what it is that's currently influencing them now and how it works. Also, there are some libertarians out there who argue that we should be spending our time focusing on ideas and ideas alone, and that we're wasting our time when we spend focusing our energy and efforts talking about the quote-unquote dangerous culture war. But here's the truth. Most people simply don't care about politics as they are. Beyond themselves, folks are interested in stories, characters, relationships. And if we want them to care about libertarian principles and ideas, and if we want them to see why these ideas are not just good ideas, but are important ideas worthy of their support, then we need to make sure we're presenting it in a way that's most palatable for them. And again, empathy does not mean we need to compromise on our principles, folks, but it does mean we need to listen and understand others. And we need to do this in a way that doesn't make us look like, pardon my French, smug, self-righteous assholes. That means actually listening to people that we're trying to convince and not just waiting them to say something that we can easily dismiss. We need to start asking questions and listen carefully to what they're actually saying. And then we need to build on that, addressing their concerns with our own stories and our own experiences. We need to feel that we can make it clear that we understand their concerns and how they themselves are feeling. And then we need to show them that our ideas will help us, or help them rather, address those concerns. So if you want to help convince people more effectively, Well, you need to start by listening. You need to listen carefully and deeply. And then when you're done listening, ask questions and then listen some more. The ability to listen is the key to persuasion. And when we listen well, people will feel heard and they'll feel understood. They'll feel like their concerns are being taken seriously, and it creates trust. And once there's trust, they're more likely to be open to what we have to say next. So the next time you see one of your buddies spouting some status nonsense at the water cooler, don't jump in and start arguing with him. No, instead, listen carefully and deeply. And when he's finished talking, ask him about what he just said, and then listen some more. If you do this, he'll feel that his concerns are being heard and understood. You'll feel like his concerns are being taken seriously, and this will help build trust between you two. And once there's trust, he will be more likely to be open to what you have to say next. Now, is this foolproof? No, of course not, but it's a good start. Yes, there will always be bad faith actors, people who are always trying to be willfully obtuse, who aren't interested in trying to understand your point of view, and those who are just simply looking for excuses to fight. And guess what? They're not your target market. Your target market is the vast majority of folks out there who are sincere in their efforts to understand your different perspectives. They want to be heard and understood, and they're willing to listen to your points of view if you show them you are willing to listen first. All right, folks, there's our quick episode for today. The power of empathy. Libertarians, there's so much we can do here with trying to reach out to people in a more effective way. And it starts with listening, showing that we care, and trying to be genuinely interested in the things that other folks are interested in. If you got value from today's episode, well, do me a favor, go ahead and give it a share. Also, this is some of the stuff we're going to be talking about, not just here as we're talking about for libertarians, but for specific candidates and how they can use the different things we're talking about from strategy here in the Brian Nichols Show for their respective campaigns over at Candidate School. Head over to briannicholsshow.com/candidate school, where you can go ahead and sign up. Yes, classes have just started here in January. We already got things rocking and rolling, and the new course material is here. And that new curriculum is How to Win Your Local Election. A brand new ebook written by yours truly is a free resource that I'm saying, yes, I've heard, frankly, from different candidates saying, I wish there was something as like a how-to of what do I have to do here to start out trying to win my local election? Because here's the reality. A lot of folks entering into those local races are just average folks like you and me. They're just trying to make a difference in the world. So I said, here, we're going to go ahead and give you guys a very nice, succinct resource. It's about 17 pages long. And we're going from how to build your campaign team, messaging, fundraising, voter outreach, all that and more. It's discussed in this awesome free ebook. So if you want to go ahead and get your free copy, well, make sure you have hit subscribe here to the Brian Nichols Show, and you head over to briannicholsshow.com on Friday, where you can go ahead and get your free copy of the ebook. Yes, it will be free. And also, if you are already subscribing to our morning sales huddle, well, go to your most recent morning sales huddle email in your inbox, and you'll see there's a link right there. If you hit the link there, it will bring you right to a separate email requesting a sneak peek of the morning sales huddle. So that's an exclusive there for the morning sales huddle subscribers over at the Brian Nichols Show. And yeah, I've been reaching out to a lot of the folks here in the greater liberty movement, letting them get a sneak peek of the book. And so far, we're hearing some pretty good feedback. So I'm thinking this is going to be a really good resource we have here for folks moving forward. And actually, we're using it right now in a couple of our races in some local elections for some city council races, mayoral races, and already hearing is making a little bit of an impact. So good stuff here, folks. If you want to go ahead and be a part of the fun, make sure you head over to briannicholsshow.com/candidate school. And yeah, the ebook will be dropping here at the end of the week this Friday. Otherwise, that's all we really have for you. Oh, yeah, one last thing. If you want to go ahead and support the show, a couple different ways you can do that. Number one, you can go ahead and get some nice swag, whatever it is you want to go ahead and represent rock and roll. Please feel free. Head to briannicholsshow.com/shop, where you can go ahead and find your awesome merch. We have some great stuff like our What Happened in 1971 t-shirt, which I think is a question a lot of folks have been asking, because you watch and all those bar graphs, they all start to go crazy there at 1971. Why is that? We asked that question. Plus, we have a bunch of other t-shirts, mugs, snapbacks, hats, and more over at our shop at briannicholsshow.com/shop. And then also, you want to become an audience insider? Well, it's only $1.99 a month. So head over to our Patreon. You can sign up for $1.99 a month. Why not? And I'll send you over a free free postcard, a free bumper sticker. There we go. Your choice. I'll make sure I include the options there as well over on the Patreon. Link in the show notes. And otherwise, that's all I have for you. Find me on social media at B Nichols Liberty. Otherwise, that's all I have for you, folks. Brian Nichols signing off here on the Brian Nichols Show. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for listening to the Brian Nichols Show. Find more episodes at briannicholsshow.com.